Welcome to practice. Let's begin by coming into standing pose Tadasana. Keeping the toes facing forwards, lifting the inner arches of the feet, anchor down into the toes and tuck the chin in. As you seal the lips and inhale, reach the hands overhead, Urdhva Hastasana, upward salute. And as you exhale, let's side bend over to the right hand side. When you're ready, you can bend the left elbow, rest the left hand behind the head and the neck. Start to notice the stretch across the left hand side of the body. Keeping the lips sealed here, breathe softly and slowly. On the inhale, reach hands overhead once more. And on the exhale, let's side bend over to the left hand side, reaching the right hand overhead before we bend the elbow and rest the hand behind the head and the neck. Once again, anchoring into the toes and lifting the inner arches of the feet to create that firm base of support and stability. On the inhales, we return back to center. We take the hands into the smalls of the back, turning the toes out, start to bend the knees. And as you lift the heart skywards, relax the hips and the stomach, feeling the stretch across the front line of the body. Staying here, squeeze the shoulder blades together and begin to arch the lower spine. Coming back to center and just wriggling into the shoulders, let's begin a movement. Inhale, reach hands overhead. As you exhale, fold forwards into Uttanasana, forward fold. Here, bend the knees as much as you feel is appropriate for you. Encourage the navel to stay nice and close to the thighs. Let the head hang heavy and feel the stretch across the back of the legs, the hips, the low and mid back. As you become more aware of the inhale, press the hands into the shins, flatten the back. To increase the lengthening and stretching of the back of the legs, lift the hips up nice and high as though you're lifting the buttocks skywards. Seal the lips down and focus on the strength that you're beginning to create in the lower back and mid back. Breathe consciously through the nose for a final count of 5. And then as you exhale, start to lower the body back into a fold. Separate the feet so they're hip width apart or maybe a little wider. And then we have options here. Bend the knees enough so the navel drops close to the thighs. Hands can either take hold of the back of the legs, the calves, the heels, or you can come into Pada Gustasana. This is where we wrap the first fingers underneath both big toes. Once again, sealing the lips, focusing on the sensation of the inhale and the exhale. Inhale, come to flat back, take the hands to the hips, and then hinge your way up. Stepping the left foot back, but keeping the heels still hip width apart. Turn the toes of the left foot outwardly to create some support. And as you exhale, reach forwards and then fold over the right thigh. Once again, hinging at the hips and encouraging the navel to drop closer to the right thigh. This might mean bending the knee much more than you can see in the video. Let the head become heavy, seal the lips. Inhale and slowly exhale. Inhale. And again, slowly exhale, noticing the rhythm and depth of the breath. Hands come to the hips to hinge up halfway. And then we're going to come into Trikonasana, triangle pose. Here you can use a prop to rest your right hand on. You can rest your right hand onto the shin, or you might even feel you can take the right hand down towards the foot and wrap the first finger underneath the big toe. Sealing the lips once more, noticing where you feel the stretch, and trying to create some strength in the thighs by engaging around the knees. After the exhale, fold forwards and return to a flat back. Parivrtta, to revolve this posture, plant the left hand down either onto the brick or to the ground. You might prefer a second option where you can take the left hand across the right thigh or the shin. A final option is lowering down to the left knee. This is going to be much more accessible and will help you with balance. Right hand lowers, hands come to the hips, and on the inhale, begin to lift into the hinge. Reach hands overhead, interlace the fingertips. If you know of Kali Mudra, you can bring this into practice. If not, focus on taking your arms to either side of your ears or even beyond the ears. Feel the stretch across the front line of the body and across the stomach. Bringing the hands to the hips, step forwards. Still with the feet hip width apart, inhale to reach hands overhead. Exhale to reach and fold forwards. We can return to where we previously were, taking hold of the calves or the heels, wrapping the first fingers underneath the big toes. Or this time you can come into Pada Hastasana, taking the entire palm underneath the sole of the foot. Seal the lips and count the breath. Inhale. And exhale, release and relax the shoulders. Inhale, press down into the toes. And exhale. On the next inhale, begin to release the hands from the feet. Bring the hands to the hips and hinge back into a standing position. Step the right foot back into our half stance. We're going to come back into Parshvattanasana pyramid pose. Inhale to reach hands overhead. Exhale to hinge forwards and fold over the left leg, bending the left knee as much as you feel is appropriate for you. You can rest the hands onto the thigh, onto the shin, or if you can make your way down to the ground or to some props, ground the hands for more stability. Relax the head, seal the lips, and again focus on the rhythm of the breath. On our next inhale, we come into Trikonasana, triangle pose. Left hand can make its way to the brick, or you can wrap the first finger underneath the big toe. Focus on twisting the navel and the heart to face the wall to your right. If you can, begin to bring some more strength to the thighs, anchor down into the toes, and feel the lengthening of the back of both legs as you do so. Right hand lowers down to the brick as a support. It might make its way down towards the floor. Left hand comes to left hip to create the twist of the torso. And then on the next inhale, see if you can reach the left hand skywards. Here, continue to lift the inner arches of the feet and press down into the toes as well as the heels. As your body feels more stable, you'll be able to create a greater twist into the hips. If you prefer lowering down to the back knee, that's also available. Inhale to come out of the posture, interlace the fingertips and once more reach the hands overhead. Here we want to feel the stretch across the front of the body, the stomach and the top of the right hip and thigh. Bring the hands down to the hips, take a step forwards to close. Now making your way down to the mat for our final posture, coming into Ardha Navasana. This is half boat pose. Placing a yoga brick or even a cushion between the knees, squeeze the thighs towards one another as you engage the thighs. Rounding the entire lower spine, feel the abdominals engage. And then slowly coming out of the posture, placing the brick to one side, and then coming into a comfortable position. This can be laid down into your back with the knees bent, the legs outstretched like in Shavasana, or you can lie onto your side or even sit next to a wall. Close down your eyes, seal the lips, and start to focus on the sensation of the inhale and the exhale. Recognize that your mind will wander from time to time, and that you are practicing the skill of noticing when your mind wanders and then simply directing it back to the breath. Noticing the feeling of the inhale, the rise and stretch through the body, and the exhale as the body relaxes and the breath leaves. As you bring your awareness back to the breath, start to notice the pauses between the inhale and the exhale. On the inhale, you feel your body rise up, and then there's a pause. And on the exhale, you feel your entire body relax. And then again, there's a pause. And then now bringing our practice to a close, take a deep breath in, big sigh.